The Depression Pittsburgh Penguins hoodie is on after that game. I don't really have words. Before I get into my depressed video, I just want to wish everyone a happy Easter. May the mystical bunny that brings you chocolate has come by and given you chocolate with mysticalness that's wrapped. Here in Australia it's called Cadbury. I don't know what you guys get overseas, but whack that in the comments because I'm curious. So, Penguins lose 5-3, pretty much 4-3 really, which is the usual Columbus scoreline, but Foligno got a hat-trick. And we are now 3 points out of not being in the playoffs. Which is mind-boggling when you think about it. The last 11 games were 3-7-1, which is nuts on how bad that is for a winning percentage. We're just not putting it together at all. Flower this game, I don't really blame him at all, but we'll break it down. We'll go through the whole game and we'll actually analyze this. Like I said, we're depressed now. It's starting to sink in a little bit that there is a chance that we won't be playing in the playoffs, where about 2 weeks ago we were kind of a shoo-in. So that's a bit nuts when you think of the lineup that we have. I understand we got some injuries and stuff like that, and we got the Flyers in a few hours. But you wonder if we will get the 2 points against the Flyers, and if Ottawa wins, then it's 1 point that separates us. 1 point, which is mental. Right now we're playing the Montreal Canadiens in the finals, but we'll break down the game, and there were good things in the game, but it just didn't come to fruition. So first period, great first period, pretty much. Crosby scores early. We start off right from the hop, get a power play, and we are on fire with that power play. Good mix between movement, passing, and shooting. I think Perron just needs to one-time it a bit more. Otherwise, maybe look at bringing up Bennett just for a power play, see what happens there. He's being wasted in the fourth line. Crosby's goal was a great tic-tac-toe play. Cole passing it to Hornquist, Hornquist just putting it out in the net. They were both just alone in front of the net, and you can't give Crosby and Hornquist that much room. They're always going to score, so it's 1-0. Second goal in the second period after we really just kind of took the play and just shoved it down Columbus's throat, and we're playing really good hockey. Smalling made a beautiful play on the boards to get it up to Sutter. Sutter kept it in the zone, gave it to Cole, and then Cole dished it back to Sutter, and Cole actually has 6 points in his last 6 games, which is unreal, seeing that we traded Robert Bortuzzo for him. An excellent trade by my mind. This is nothing on his fault, and bear in mind we do have defensive injuries for what happened next. So with a 2-0 lead, we just decided to turn over the puck over and over and over again in the defensive zones. It started with Scuderi. I understand Atkinson took it from the top, threw it down, and then kind of had his way with it. But they had a few defensive turnovers, and then that's when really bad defensive turnover left Davinsky and Foligno on a 2-0, and Foligno scores for his 28th of the year. He ended up with the game with a hat-trick. After that, Calvert then scored to make it 2-2 in the space of 2 minutes and 3 seconds. And it was just mental. It reminded me so much of that playoff goal where they got their first ever playoff win. It was just chaos. You kind of thought, oh my god, we might have got away with it, and then Calvert put it in. Almost exactly the same way. Flores just sprawling everywhere, and it's just crazy right now. After that, Columbus makes it 3-2, then 4-2, then Penguins make it 4-3, and then they end up getting the empty netter to make it 5-3 at the end of the game, and Foligno gets a nice little hat-trick. He's been a really good story for them, otherwise with an injury-plagued season. You don't know what they would have been able to do without injuries. And the last 3 seasons, they played really well at the end. They've just won 9 games in a row. So it's not like we're losing against bad opponents. They did come to us, winning 8 games in a row, and we're in a bad streak now. But depending on how we play against the Flyers, it is a legit chance we won't be in the finals if we lose against the Flyers and Ottawa wins. Thus the no real jokes. If we get kicked out, I'll make some jokes and stuff like that, but it's kind of like, it's the realization literally has just sunk in that, we might not be in the finals, which is weird. It's been a long time since that's happened. I was obviously a fan when we weren't making them for a long time, but it's just weird to think that we won't be in the postseason dance. So the way the playoff picture looks now is there's 3 teams all tied on 95 points. The Penguins, the Red Wings, and the Bruins. The Bruins have played one more game than everyone else out of those 2, but it's kind of looking like the way that the Penguins and the Red Wings are sort of losing a fair few games, that it could really be up to us to not make it. But at the moment, with the results today, where the Capitals and the Islanders both got wins, we're looking like we're playing the Montreal Canadiens in the first round, which again is crazy. Otherwise it might be the Rangers. So I didn't think that would be a wildcard team, but I just struggle to see how we get out of being in the wildcard unless the Islanders lose a game and then we beat the Islanders in a few days. But yeah, you'd think Ottawa will beat the Leafs. I know they didn't a bit ago, but Hammond's got over his back injury, so you kind of feel like we have to beat the Flyers or else it is a 1-point ball game, and that is not a place you want to be in. It could be up to 4 teams all vying for 3 spots really in the playoffs, so I just hope the Penguins aren't the one to miss it. So that's the whole depressing video, guys. If you liked it, hit the sub button if you're already not a sub. Otherwise, hit the like button. Comment down below. Who do you think will make the playoffs? Like I said, there's 3 spots. There are 4 teams. There is Ottawa, who will probably win. Red Wings also play, and I don't know if they'll be able to pick up the W because they really haven't been playing too well. And then you got Boston and Penguins. So who misses out? Who misses out? I'm hoping Ottawa gets in, not at the expense of the Penguins, of course, but I hope Ottawa does get in. I kind of like the story that they've had. I wouldn't mind the Red Wings missing out, and I wouldn't mind Boston missing out. I mean, Red Wings have been in for, what, 22 straight years or something like that? Yeah, you can miss one. And Boston, well, they're just the Bruins. Go fuck the Bruins. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Tell all your friends about me. Maybe link them to a bit more of a happier video than this one.